My friend, you think your life is controlled by your choices alone. That is a lie. Much of your day is guided by a system built to capture your eyes, your time, and your energy. But today, while you practice English, you will also start to change your life. Stay until the end. The final point is the most important. This is English Story Studio. Here, you train your English and your character at the same time. Right now, as you listen to me, you are a consumer. That is not always bad. You are consuming knowledge. You are feeding your mind. But the truth begins after this moment. What will you do when this audio ends? Will you close it, open another video, and keep scrolling until the day disappears? Or will you stop, sit down, and make something small but real? That is the question, my friend. Not what you know, not what you want, what you do. Many people spend their whole lives watching other people live. They watch athletes play. They watch actors perform. They watch rich people travel. They watch smart people explain. They watch strong people win. Day after day, year after year, they watch. But they do not build. They do not practice. They do not create. And then they wonder why their lives feel empty. The defining moment of your life is the day you switch sides. The day you stop only watching the game and begin to build the field. A creator produces. A creator speaks. A creator builds value. A consumer waits. A creator moves. Today, I want to walk with you through a simple but hard truth. First, we will look at the system that keeps you consuming. Then, we will make the inner shift. You will begin to see that everything around you was made by someone. After that, we will talk about small daily creation, imperfect action, sharing your journey, building your public proof, ignoring laughter, and staying in the game long enough to change your future. Listen carefully, my friend. This is not just a lesson. This is a mirror. Let us begin with the first truth. You are inside a machine of consumption. That sounds dramatic, but it is real. From the moment you wake up, many forces compete for your attention. Your phone calls you. Notifications pull you. Short videos promise quick pleasure. News gives you fear. Entertainment gives you escape. Ads give you desire. Everything says the same thing in different words. Look here, click here, stay here, buy this, watch more, want more. Stop. Be honest. How much of your day belongs to you? Not your job, not your family duty, not your sleep. I mean your real free time. How much of that time is truly chosen by you, and how much is taken, little by little, by systems designed by very smart people? This is the matrix of consumption. It is not magic, it is business. Many people believe they are the customer. That is only half true. Sometimes you pay with money, but often you pay with something far more important. You pay with attention. You pay with emotion. You pay with time, and time is life. My friend, here's the truth. If a platform is free, very often you are not the customer. You are the product. Your eyes are sold. Your behavior is studied. Your weakness is measured. The system learns what makes you angry, what makes you excited, what keeps you scrolling, what keeps you addicted. Then it gives you more, not because it loves you, because it profits from you. This is why 5 minutes becomes 50. This is why one video becomes 20. This is why you open your phone for one small reason and suddenly forget what you wanted to do. The system is not weak. It is built by creators. That is the painful irony. You are trapped by what other people created. Think about that. Someone created the app. Someone designed the sound. Someone wrote the words. Someone tested the colors. Someone studied human behavior. Someone built the trap, and millions entered it. There is a story I want you to hear. Jake was tired every night. He worked, came home, ate dinner, and told himself he needed rest. So he opened his phone. One funny clip, then one more, then a travel video, then a podcast clip, then a rich man giving advice, then a fitness video, then a movie scene. At midnight, Jake felt full in the head and empty in the heart. He had consumed many lives, but he had built none of his own. This is the modern pain. You feel busy, but you did not move. You feel full, but you did not grow. You feel tired, but you did not create anything. Now let me tell you the lie behind this system. The lie says, this is normal. Everyone lives this way. But normal is not the same as good. Normal can be weak. Normal can be trapped. Normal can lead you into regret. You must never trust normal if normal creates a small life. So what do you do first? First, you see the machine clearly. Name it. Do not speak in fog. Say, this app wants my attention. Say, this video is trying to keep me here. Say, this feeling is not freedom. It is a pull. Clear words create clear eyes. Then make one moment in your day sacred. 10 minutes, just 10. Protect it. No scrolling. No noise. No passive watching. Sit down and ask one question. What can I make today? We will go deeper into that later, but the first battle is not skill. The first battle is control. Finally, remember this simple line. What you consume shapes your mood, but what you create shapes your future. That brings us to the shift. The shift is small in words, but huge in power. Look around your room. The chair, the table, the light, the notebook, the shirt you wear, the video you watch, the app on your phone, the building outside, the song in your ear. None of these things appeared from the sky. Someone made them. Someone had an idea. Someone started badly. Someone kept going. Someone created the world you now live inside. So here's the question that can change your life. Why not you? Why should the internet only be filled by other people? Why should other people be the ones who speak, teach, build, record, write, sell, and share? Why should your role be only to watch? That is the shift. You stop seeing the world only as a finished product. You begin seeing it as something made by ordinary humans who decided to act. This is important, my friend. Creators are not a different species. They are not gods. Most of them began confused. Most of them began with poor skills. Most of them began with fear. The difference is not magic. The difference is that they started before they felt ready. Emma saw people online speaking English with confidence. For a long time, she only watched. She admired them. She felt small. She told herself, they are special. I am not. But one day she noticed something simple. Every person she admired had once been a beginner. Every clear speaker was once awkward. Every strong creator was once unknown. That thought hit her like cold water. She did not need permission. She needed practice. That is the shift from consumer to creator. You stop saying, wow, they made that. You begin saying, good, I can make something too. Not perfect, not famous, not huge, something. Stop again. Be honest. When you see great work, do you feel inspired or defeated? Do you study it or do you hide from it? Do you say, that proves what is possible? Or do you say, that is why I should not try? You must choose the first voice. Always, because the world belongs to people who act before they feel powerful. The shift also means you understand one more truth. Consumption is easy because it asks nothing from you. Creation is hard because it asks for your mind, your courage, and your patience. That is why creation changes you. Hard things build identity. Easy things build appetite. So today, do not only listen to these words, test them. Look at one thing you use every day and say, a human made this. Then say, I am human too. It sounds simple, Good. Simple truths are often the strongest truths. In the next step, we will make this practical. Not a dream, not a big plan, a daily action. Small, clear, repeatable. Because your future is not built in one dramatic day. It is built in quiet days that nobody claps for. And my friend, that is where your new life begins. My friend, the shift means nothing if it stays only in your head. A new identity needs a daily action. A belief becomes real only when the body moves. So now we come to the next truth. Start with 10 minutes of creation, not tomorrow. Not when you feel confident. Not when you buy better tools. Not when your room is clean. Not when life becomes easier. Start with 10 minutes. This is where many people make a big mistake. They think creation must be impressive. They think it must be original, polished, deep, and beautiful from the first day. That belief sounds noble, but it is a lie. It is often just fear wearing nice clothes. The truth is simple. At the beginning, your job is not to impress. Your job is to begin. 10 minutes is enough to change the direction of a day. 10 minutes is enough to write a short post. 10 minutes is enough to draw one simple sketch. 10 minutes is enough to record a short English voice note. 10 minutes is enough to make one page of notes, one small video idea, one paragraph, one lesson summary, one design, one tiny result. You do not need greatness. You need proof. Proof that you are no longer only consuming. Proof that your hands can build. Proof that your mind can produce. Proof that today did not disappear for nothing. Stop. Be honest. How many hours have you lost because a task felt too big? How many dreams became dust because you told yourself you needed more time? This is how people stay trapped. They wait for a free day, a perfect mood, a strong burst of motivation. Then they wait again, and again, and again. But a creator does not build a future with waiting. A creator builds with repetition. 10 minutes a day sounds small. Good. Small is exactly why it works. Small actions do not frighten the mind. Small actions can fit into a hard life. Small actions survive busy seasons. Small actions can be repeated when motivation dies. And what repeats grows. Let me tell you about Ryan. Ryan wanted to improve his English and become more confident speaking online. But every time he thought about starting, he imagined a perfect video. Good lighting, perfect grammar, strong voice, no mistakes. He compared that dream video with his real self, and he did nothing. One night he made a different decision. Just 10 minutes. He opened his phone, pressed record, and spoke in English about his day. His voice was not smooth. His grammar was not perfect. He paused too much. He felt embarrassed, but the recording existed. That changed everything. The next day, he did it again. 10 minutes. Then again. After 3 weeks, he could hear progress. After 2 months, he had many recordings. Not great recordings. Real recordings. They became evidence. He was no longer only a person who wanted to speak English. He was a person who practiced speaking English every day. That is a different identity. My friend, never laugh at small beginnings. Small beginnings are honest. Small beginnings are alive. Most people stay weak because they worship big plans and ignore daily action. You must do the opposite. Ask yourself each morning or each evening, what can I create in 10 minutes today? Keep the question simple. A short written reflection, a drawing, a lesson summary, a voice recording, a comment with value, a list of ideas, a tiny script, a photo with a thoughtful caption, one clean paragraph, one solved problem. The result does not matter much in the beginning. The ritual matters. The identity matters. The repetition matters. First, choose one form of creation. Do not choose 5. Too many choices create fog. Pick one lane: writing, speaking, drawing, coding, teaching, designing, music, learning notes. Choose one. Nudix. Choose one. Then choose one daily time. Morning before noise. Evening before sleep. Lunch break. After work. Before shower. It does not need to be romantic. It needs to be real. Finally, protect those 10 minutes like they matter. Because they do. Those 10 minutes are not small. They are a vote for the person you want to become. And now we come to the next enemy. Perfection. My friend, perfection is one of the most respected lies in the modern world. People speak about high standards, excellence, quality, and pride in your work. Some of that is good. But perfection, especially at the beginning, is poison. Why? Because it stops motion. A beginner who wants perfection will usually produce nothing. And nothing, no matter how beautiful it looks in your imagination, has no power in the real world. The fear of imperfection kills more dreams than lack of talent. Listen carefully. Your first steps will be ugly. They must be ugly. That is normal. That is human. That is the price of entry. A child learning to walk looks unstable. A beginner in the gym looks awkward. A new driver feels tense. A person learning English speaks slowly and makes mistakes. This is not failure. This is the path. But many adults cannot accept looking weak for a short season. Their ego is too loud. They would rather hide than be seen as beginners. So they delay. They plan. They watch more videos. They buy courses. They organize folders. They think about tools. They think about strategy. They do everything except the one thing that matters. They do not produce. Stop. Be honest. Have you ever said, "I am preparing," when really you were avoiding fear? That is a painful question. But you need painful questions. Soft lies create hard lives. Hard truth creates a stronger life. Olivia wanted to write online. She had good ideas. She read many books. She had strong opinions. But every post in her head sounded weak to her. She edited sentences before she even wrote them. She imagined people judging her. She imagined smarter people laughing. So she stayed silent for a year. Then one day she got tired of her own excuse. She wrote a short post in 20 minutes and shared it. It was not elegant. It was not deep. It was not memorable. But it was out in the world. A week later, she wrote another one. Then another. After a few months, something changed. Her thinking became clearer because writing forced clarity. Her voice became stronger because use creates strength. Her fear became smaller because repeated exposure weakens fear. The ugly first steps did not destroy her. They built her. That is how it works. You do not think your way into confidence. You create your way into confidence. This is why you must focus on output, not perfection. Output teaches. Output exposes weak spots. Output gives feedback. Output gives feedback. Output creates evidence. Output can be improved. Perfection in your imagination cannot. A rough page can become a good page. A bad recording can become a better recording. An awkward first video can become a confident 10th video. But nothing stays. Nothing until you break the silence. My friend, action is the teacher. Not thought alone. Not desire alone. Not taste alone. And yes, your first work may disappoint you. Good. That means your taste is ahead of your skill. That is normal. It hurts, but it is useful. It means you can see quality even before you can make it. Do not let that pain stop you. Let it guide you. Say this to yourself. My first job is not to be amazing. My first job is to become consistent. There is freedom in that sentence. When you release the need to be impressive, you gain the power to improve. When you stop trying to look talented, you finally begin building talent. When you stop hiding from ugly beginnings, you enter the real road. So what should you do? First, lower the standard for your first version, not the standard for your future. Only the standard for starting. A weak first draft is allowed. A simple recording is allowed. A rough idea is allowed. You are learning to move. Then, measure success by completion, not beauty. Ask, did I finish today's output? Not, was it excellent? Excellence can come later. Completion must come now. Finally, repeat one sentence when fear rises. Bad work is part of good work. Because it is, always. My friend, do not worship perfect people on the internet. Many of them are showing you the polished result, not the broken early attempts. You are comparing your beginning to someone else's edited middle. That is unfair. That is foolish. Never do that. Compare yourself only to the version of you who stayed silent yesterday. In the next part, we will go deeper into a very practical method for people who say, I do not know what to create. Good. There is an answer for that, and it may be the simplest doorway into a creative life. My friend, many people stay stuck because of one sentence. I want to create, but I do not know what to make. That sentence sounds reasonable. But very often, it is just another hiding place for fear, because the truth is this. You do not need to invent a masterpiece to begin. You do not need a genius idea. You do not need to become a different person. You only need to stop waiting for a perfect concept. So let me give you one of the most useful ideas in the modern world. Document. Do not create. This is a powerful shift, a huge shift. When people hear the word create, many of them freeze. They imagine pressure. They imagine originality. They imagine performance. They imagine they must say something nobody has ever said before. That belief crushes beginners. But document is different. To document means to show your path, to record what you are learning, to share what you are trying, to speak about what is difficult, what is working, what is changing, what you now understand that you did not understand last week. Do you see the freedom in that? You do not need to be an expert to document. You only need to be honest. You only need to pay attention. You only need to move and report. If you are learning English, document your English journey. If you are getting stronger, document your training. If you are building discipline, document your habits. If you are reading books, document what you learn. If you are trying to change your life, document the truth of that process. This method works because it removes the pressure to be great and replaces it with the duty to be real. Stop. Be honest. How many useful things have you learned in the last month that could help another beginner? Maybe a simple grammar trick. Maybe a better way to remember words. Maybe a small habit that helped you wake up earlier. Maybe a lesson from failure. Maybe a sentence that changed your mindset. That is enough. More than enough. A beginner can help another beginner better than a distant expert sometimes. Why? Because the beginner remembers the struggle clearly. The expert may be too far from the starting line, but you are still close to it. You know the confusion. You know the fear. You know the small wins. That makes your voice valuable. Let me show you with a simple story. Emma wanted to build confidence in English, but she kept saying, I have nothing special to teach, so she stayed silent. Then one day she changed one sentence. Instead of saying, I will teach English, she said, I will document my English practice. That changed everything. She posted a short note each day. One new word she learned. One sentence she practiced. One mistake she noticed. One small success. Sometimes she recorded a short voice clip. Sometimes she wrote about feeling embarrassed. Sometimes she shared how she studied for 10 minutes after work. Nothing looked impressive at first, but it was real. It was alive. It was useful. After a few months, other learners started paying attention. Why? Not because she was perfect, because she was consistent, because she was honest, because her progress gave other people courage. They saw themselves in her. This is a secret many people miss. People do not only follow excellence, They also follow truth. They follow movement. They follow visible effort. They follow someone who says, I am on the road too. My friend, your path has value while you are still walking it. Now, let us make this practical. First, choose one journey you are already living. Not a fantasy life. Not a future identity. Your real life. English learning. Fitness. Reading. Saving money. Waking early. Public speaking. Writing. Any real path is enough. Then, each day, capture one small piece of that journey. What did you try? What did you learn? What felt hard? What helped? What helped? What mistake did you make? What truth did you discover? Finally, share it in a simple form. A short post, a note, a voice recording, a small video, a photo with a caption, a paragraph. Keep it light. Keep it honest. Keep it moving. Documenting also helps you in another way. It makes you notice your own life more carefully. A passive person drifts through the day and forgets it. A person who documents starts looking for lessons, starts watching their own behavior, starts naming patterns, starts becoming conscious. That is powerful, because the quality of your life improves when the quality of your attention improves. And now we move to the next truth. What you create must not stay hidden forever. You need a public portfolio. This sounds bigger than it is. Relax. A public portfolio does not mean a perfect website, a huge audience, or some polished online brand. At the beginning, it simply means this. Your work must exist where other people can see it. That is all. A public portfolio is proof. It is visible evidence that you are building. It can be a social media page, a blog, a video channel, a note platform, a page with your writing, a folder of designs, a stream of voice recordings. The form matters less than the fact that it is public and real. Why does this matter so much? Because hidden work has weak leverage? Public work can travel. The internet, my friend, is one of the greatest tools in human history. A village once limited your reach. A city once limited your reach. Even your country once limited your reach. But now, one idea, one post, one lesson, one honest story can cross borders while you sleep. Do not take this lightly. In earlier times, a person needed permission from gatekeepers, a publisher, a producer, a boss, a school, a network. Today, those gates are weaker. Not gone, but weaker. You can speak directly. You can publish directly. You can build a body of work directly. That is leverage, and leverage changes lives. A single post may bring one new friend. A single article may bring one opportunity. A single video may help one stranger. A single voice note may become the start of a new path. One piece looks small, but over time, the pieces become a body of work, a trail, a signal, a reputation. Stop. Be honest. If someone searched your name today, what proof would they find that you are building your future? Not your intention, not your private dream. Proof. This question hurts. Good. Let it hurt. Because many people say they are serious, but their public life shows nothing. No work, no practice, no voice, no record, only consumption, only entertainment, only silence. A public portfolio changes that. It says, I am here, I am building, I am learning, I am not waiting for permission. Ryan understood this when he began posting short English recordings online. At first, only a few people listened. Some posts had almost no response, but he kept going. After enough repetition, something important happened. He stopped creating only for mood and started creating for identity. His page became evidence. His archive became proof. Even on days when he felt weak, he could look at his own body of work and say, no, I am a person who practices. That is why a public portfolio matters even before it brings money or praise. It changes your self-image. It gives your effort a place to live. Now, one warning. Do not build your portfolio only to chase applause. That is another trap. Applause is unstable. Some days people respond. Some days they do not. Some good work gets ignored. Some shallow work gets attention. If you depend on reaction, your discipline will become weak. Build your public portfolio for 3 reasons. To create proof, to build leverage, to become visible to yourself. First, choose one public home for your work. Just one for now. Do not spread yourself everywhere. One place is enough. Then, post consistently, even if the work is small, especially if it is small. Small posts are bricks. Bricks build walls. Walls build houses. Finally, think long-term, not viral, not instant, long-term. A public portfolio is not a lottery ticket. It is an asset. That word matters. Asset. An asset is something that keeps working for you after you create it. A useful post can still help someone later. A good explanation can still be found months later. A strong video can still bring attention later. A body of work can open doors you cannot see yet. This is why creation is different from consumption. Consumption disappears fast. Creation can remain. You watch a video, and the hour is gone. You make a useful video, and it may continue working after the hour ends. That is a different relationship with time. The consumer spends time. The creator stores value inside time. Do you understand how powerful that is? My friend, this is how ordinary people slowly build uncommon lives. Not by one dramatic lucky moment, by publishing small pieces of honest work again and again until the world has enough evidence to take them seriously. In the next part, we will face something emotional and painful. The laughter. The judgment. The first haters. Because the moment you become visible, some people will react, and if you are not ready for that, you may run back into silence. Do not run. My friend, the moment you stop hiding and begin to build in public, a new test appears. People react. Some stay silent. Some support you. Some watch from far away. And some laugh. This is painful, especially in the beginning. Because the first critics are often not strangers. They may be friends, classmates, co-workers, even family. People who knew the old version of you may feel uncomfortable when you begin to change. Your growth reminds them of their own inaction. Your courage exposes their fear. So they joke, they dismiss. They say you are trying too hard. They ask who you think you are. Be careful here. Many dreams die in this stage, not because the dream was weak, but because the person cared too much about being understood too early. Stop. Be honest. How many times have you hidden your real effort because you did not want people to think you were strange? How many times have you acted small just to stay accepted? That is a heavy price, my friend. Approval can become a prison. When you build something different, some people will laugh because they only understand familiar behavior. A person who scrolls all day looks normal. A person who studies at night, records English practice, writes online, or shares ideas may look strange to them. But strange is often just the early shape of discipline. Jake learned this when he started posting short videos about his learning journey. A few friends sent laughing messages. One said he was acting like an expert. Another mocked his serious tone. For 2 days, Jake wanted to delete everything. He felt shame. He felt exposed. But then he asked himself one hard question. Are these people building the life I want? The answer was no. That question gave him strength. My friend, never take life advice from people who are not serious about their own lives. Their laughter may be loud, but it is not wise. Noise is not wisdom. This does not mean you must hate them. No. Stay calm. Stay clean. Stay respectful. But do not let weak people vote on your future. Here is what you do. First, expect early misunderstanding. Do not act surprised. Visibility always brings reaction. Then, measure criticism carefully. Helpful criticism is specific and useful. Mockery is cheap and empty. Learn from the first. Ignore the second. Finally, remember this truth. People often laugh at the beginning and ask for advice at the end. Stay with the process long enough to see that happen. You are not here to entertain doubters. You are here to build a life. And in the next step, we bring all of this together. Because daily creation does something quiet and powerful over time. It compounds. It builds. It changes your identity, my friend. Now we arrive at one of the deepest truths in this whole journey. Creation compounds. That means your small efforts do not stay small. They stack. They connect. They grow roots. They begin to work together. And after enough time, they produce a result that looks surprising to people who only see the outside. But the result is not magic. It is compound effort. This is why daily creation matters so much. One short post may seem weak. One voice recording may seem unimportant. One page of writing may feel small. One drawing may look forgettable. One lesson note may not impress anyone. Good. You are not building for one day. You are building for a year. For 3 years. For the person you will become. Stop. Be honest. Most people quit because they judge too early. They plant a seed and dig it up the next week to check for fruit. That is foolish. Growth needs time. Identity needs repetition. Assets need accumulation. A person who creates for 7 days feels excited. A person who creates for 30 days feels more serious. A person who creates for 100 days begins to look different. A person who creates for 365 days is no longer the same human being. Why? Because daily creation changes more than your output. It changes your eyes. It changes your standards. It changes your courage. It changes your discipline. It changes your relationship with time. At the start, you fight to make one small thing. Later, making becomes normal. Then not making starts to feel strange. That is identity change. Emma felt this after months of documenting her English journey. In the beginning, she struggled to find one simple thing to say. She felt embarrassed by her voice. She worried that her progress was too slow, but after many months, she noticed something powerful. She no longer saw herself as a silent learner watching from the side. She had become a person with a body of work. Dozens of notes. Many recordings. Clear proof of effort, visible growth. And that public record was not only useful for other people, it became useful for her. On hard days, she could look back and see progress. On weekdays, she could not lie to herself and say she had done nothing. On confused days, she had a trail behind her. This is one of the greatest gifts of creation. It leaves evidence. Consumers often lose time and keep almost nothing. Creators spend time and slowly build assets. That word again, asset. After 365 days of useful creation, you may have a page full of writing, a library of voice practice, a channel with recordings, a small audience, stronger skills, better thinking, and a reputation for consistency. Even if the audience is still small, the asset is real, and real assets change your future. They can bring opportunities. They can build trust. They can attract the right people. They can open work, business, friendships, learning, and confidence. This is why you must never laugh at daily effort. A man who saves a little money each week understands this. A woman who trains her body each day understands this. A learner who studies English every day understands this. A creator who publishes value every day understands this. Compounding is quiet at first, then powerful, very powerful. But there is also a warning here. Compounding works in both directions. If you create daily, the results stack. If you consume daily without control, that also stacks. A distracted day becomes a distracted month. A distracted month becomes a distracted year. A distracted year becomes a weak life built from fragments. So choose carefully what you repeat, because repetition is never neutral. It is building something always. Now let me say something hard and true. Nobody is coming to save you. No perfect mentor will arrive at your door. No magical mood will carry you. No sudden wave of confidence will build your future for you. You must do it. 10 minutes, one post, one recording, one page, one act of courage. Then again, tomorrow. This is how a new life is built. Not by drama, by repetition, not by waiting, by output, not by dreaming only, by making. And one day, the person who used to consume all evening will look at their own work and realize something beautiful. The future is no longer abstract. It is visible. It has shape. It has proof. It has been built piece by piece by the hands that once did nothing. Hold that image in your mind, my friend, because in the final stretch, we will bring all of this together. We will close the circle. We will make the truth simple, sharp, and impossible to forget. My friend, let us bring the truth together. You live in a world that trains you to consume. It pulls your eyes. It pulls your mind. It offers endless noise, endless novelty, endless escape. If you are not careful, your whole life can become reaction. Watch this. Click that. What more? Feel more. Buy more. Repeat. But that path has a cost. A consumer spends life watching other people build. A creator uses life to build something real. That is the line. Not rich or poor. Not famous or unknown. Not gifted or average. The real line is this. Do you only take in, or do you also put out? Do you only admire, or do you also act? Do you only dream, or do you also build? You do not need to become a giant tomorrow. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need permission from the world. You need one honest decision. You need to stop living only as an audience. That is the shift. You look around and understand that everything near you was made by a person. A normal person. A flawed person. A beginner once. Then you ask the question that changes identity. Why not me? From there, the path becomes simple. Not easy, but simple. You begin with 10 minutes. You stop worshiping perfection. You document your real journey. You make your work public. You ignore weak laughter. You stay long enough for effort to compound. That is how a future is built. Slowly, quietly, daily. And now I want to say something to you very clearly. The life you want will not be built by your intentions. It will be built by your repeated actions. Your hopes matter. Your dreams matter. Your vision matters. But only action gives those things a body. A thought without action is mist. A dream without action is escape. A plan without action is theater. Action makes things real. So when this ends, do not let the lesson die in your emotions. Do not say, that was powerful, and then scroll for 3 more hours. Do not nod like you understand, and then return to the same weak pattern. Understanding without behavior change is one more form of consumption. Do not consume this message. Use it. Tonight, create one thing. Small, honest, real. Write a short post. Record 1 minute of English. Share one lesson from your day. Make one page. Speak one truth. Build one brick. Then tomorrow, do it again. That is how self-respect grows. Not from positive thinking alone. From evidence. From seeing your own hands do what your mouth said mattered. And yes, some days will feel dull. Some days your work will look weak. Some days nobody will respond. Some days doubt will whisper, "This is pointless." Ignore that voice. It judges too early. It cannot see long distance. It wants comfort now and regret later. You must want something better. You must want a life with proof, a life with assets, a life with substance, a life where your days do not disappear without a trace. My friend, every day asks you a question. Will you leave this day empty, or will you leave something behind? That something does not need to impress the world. Not yet. It only needs to be real enough to shape you. because this is the deeper truth. Creation is not only about making things, it is about making yourself. Every post, every recording, every effort, every public step is also a cut of the knife. You are carving identity. You are shaping character. You are training yourself to become a person who does not only admire value, but produces it. That is rare. That is powerful. That is freedom. Nobody is coming to save you. Read that truth again in your mind. Nobody is coming to save you. Not because life is hopeless. No. Because life becomes stronger when you stop waiting for rescue. The moment you accept responsibility, you stop begging time to become different. You start using time. You stop asking the world to hand you meaning. You begin building meaning with your own repeated effort. That is adulthood. That is strength. That is peace. And when you stay on this path long enough, something beautiful happens. You no longer feel jealous every time you see great work. You feel challenged. You feel called forward. You no longer watch creators like they belong to another species. You recognize them as people who kept going. Then you realize you are one of them, not because of one perfect result, because of daily proof. So stand up from this lesson with one vow. I will not spend my whole life as a spectator. I will not rent out all my attention. I will not let fear of ugly beginnings keep me silent. I will build something. I will leave proof. I will create my future every day. Hold that line, my friend. Return to it when you feel weak. Return to it when people laugh. Return to it when progress looks slow. Return to it when your old habits call you back. And now, before we close, I want to speak to you not just as a listener, but as a builder in progress. This is English Story Studio. We are not here only to fill your ears with English. We are here to build a different kind of person, a person who learns and acts, a person who learns and acts, a person who listens and applies, a person who stops drifting and starts building, a person who moves from consumption to creation. If this message met you at the right moment, do not keep it private inside your head. Mark your decision. Write one action you will do today. Make it real. And if you are walking this road with us, subscribe and stay close. Build with this community. Train your English. Train your mind. Train your discipline. You do not need to become famous. You do not need to become perfect. You need to become consistent. That is enough. More than enough. The people who change their lives are often not the most talented in the room. They are the ones who keep showing up after emotion fades. They keep making. They keep sharing. They keep improving. They keep faith with the future version of themselves. Be one of those people. Let this be the day you switch sides. Let this be the day you stop only watching the field. Let this be the day you begin to build it. Your future is not found. Your future is built, and it is built every day.